right. Well, speaking of bombs,
Wow. Smooth.
yep.
It was not a bomb.
No, it wasn't a bomb. Just one actress is a fucking terrible bomb. Underwater, the 2020 American science fiction action horror film. I mean, I guess you could call it an action horror film. I mean, I don't know. Directed by William Eubank, screenplay by Brian Duffield and Adam Kozad. Let's see here. We've got Kristen Stewart, Vincent Castle, Jessica Henwick, John Gallagher Jr., and TJ Miller. 2 thumbs up for that guy. He actually saved the movie because, he's TJ Miller and he's fucking hilarious.
He was great. Yeah.
Basically, you've got a research facility down in the bottom of the Mariana Trench, struck by an earthquake, but little do they know it's not really an earthquake. So, yeah. We follow the whole crew as they try and survive this onslaught of disaster and horror. And did plot hole say bomb or bong? Well, I'm not gonna say.
Sure
not gonna finish. Not gonna finish that because I don't want you to get shut down. Anyway.
Bomb.
What if it's a bombardier?
So yes. Okay, I'll admit 2 things right here. Number one, I am not a tremendous fan of Kristen Stewart. I don't know many people that are. I know I've talked to a lot of people that have, they talk up her chops, say that she's not well
garbage.
She's not well represented because of Twilight, and the girl actually does have talent. And
I have yet to see it.
Unfortunately, I also have yet to see this because other films she's been involved in. Because I'm a big fan of Jesse Eisenberg, and in American American Ultra, it's the same old thing. American Ultra was the same thing as it was in the amusement park movie that she did, Adventureland.
Yeah, and then she was in Zathura.
Yeah, it's I think even if you go so far back as Panic Room, it's pretty much the same. That's just her style. I don't know why she never learned to expand it. Personal Shopper is supposedly one of her best, and that's kind of a ghost thriller kind of deal, and still the exact same stuff. Only she shows more skin.
No thanks, I'll pass.
Fortunately, and I know, and this was the shame. This was a real shame because I actually showed this movie. Yeah, I streamed this movie in the theater, in our Discord, and some people stopped. There were people that stopped by, and they're like, "No, I don't want to watch it. This is that Kristen Stewart movie, isn't it?" And I was like, "Yeah, it is," and they're like, "Yeah, I'm out," and they would just leave. It's like, damn, because unfortunately, the movie is not that bad. The movie really isn't, like you said.
What does Ted say? The fact you have to say that it's not that bad means it's that bad.
No.
Well, here's the thing,
and I know because I wanted to preface that because Kristen Stewart, though she is on the cover and she is, you could say she is the lead. The director William Eubank, I believe, I think, just watching this movie, he made the conscious choice of making sure that when Kristen Stewart was on camera, and when there's no one else around, she doesn't have any lines, because at least she does have the capacity to emote a little bit. And
only if it's sad or the fact that she's holding in a fart.
Yeah, and the character is the character archetype that she's playing is not someone who would emote like just all the time. They wouldn't be an emotional person because that's not the job they do. So it actually is a job that would fit how she kind of is, how she kind of acts. It was like, okay, so she can only act a certain way, so that fits this job, so we're going to put her in this job. And then every time she has lines, we're going to surround her with like
people who are good at what they do.
7 other people who are all excellent. And so they'll do most of the talking because there's more people, so they need to get their lines in, and she'll just chime in every once in a while. So no, Kristen Stewart was not great. But she was better than usual because she wasn't your typical lead. She was more of a plot jeep. Kristen Stewart got us from the good point to good point to good point. All she had to do was just drive the plot jeep and get us there, which I think was just how you handle her.
No, that's how you handle her is you tell her, hey, look, you had a good run, but now it's time to go sack groceries at Sack and Save because you suck. Let's get people who have actual talent.
I'm sorry, Jessica G. is quoting me. I love this movie because the girl was hot. Quote, J.L. Warren, every crappy movie forever. No, that is not so. Because I actually, I guess I'm one of the few. I don't really find Kristen Stewart all that attractive. I
don't think you're one of the few.
Okay, she doesn't strike me like that. There are many other horror actresses that just blow my mind, but Kristen Stewart just doesn't happen to be one of them.
She looks like a rat.
And I think that she purposefully takes roles that will allow her to not try to capitalize on whatever natural beauty she has or whatever she thinks she has. So I will defend the film because Vincent Cassel is amazing, because T.J. Miller was amazing, because the entire surrounding cast was great, because the effects were decent, because the storyline was simple. It was easy. It wasn't convoluted. It was just telling a very simple story. There were aspects of the characters that were very, very well. Everyone was fleshed out except for her.
Yeah.
She's depressive. She's depressive because she lost her boyfriend, and she's technically her character is suicidal, throughout the whole film. Which is why at the end she's able to sacrifice herself. And okay, cool. So she's suicidal. She's not really talking to people.
Spoiler alert.
And she can die. So whatever. So yeah, on this particular one, I will defend it because the things that could have made it terrible, the Kristen Stewart problem, did not drag this film underwater.
Very good. Very good.
Hey, Johnny, get him out of this video feed.
I just think that the movie would have done so much better had they hired somebody else.
All right, who else would you put in that role?
Jinju says had to be the booty. That girl got no boobs.
Here's the thing. That's not even the point, right? If she had chops, if she could actually act, that'd be one thing. It's not so bad. The problem isn't the fact that she's a one-trick pony. It's the fact that her trick is terrible. If you look at like James Woods, he is a character actor. He plays James Woods in everything he does.
Yes,
but
he does.
He's good at it. I gotta
say there's a difference between James Woods in The General's Daughter with John Travolta and James Woods in Contact with Jodie Foster.
But he still played that sternish asshole.
True.
I mean, it was just different variations of the same character.
That's the thing I get from Kristen Stewart. I know Johnny likes to say that Kristen Stewart looks like she's constantly holding in a fart.
She is.
Bro, I want to bring up the scene.
She's holding a fart. I know my take is that she constantly looks like she's trying to contain her emotions. Like any moment she could just burst out in just like hysteria. So she's just holding it in. She's just holding in the hysteria. So she's holding in something. So what about you?
She's holding it in, all right.
When Johnny said it looked like she was holding a fart, it just reminded me of the scene where she's got to hit the button to close the doors when all the water's blowing through the hall or whatever you want to call it.
At the very beginning?
Yeah, when she's got to shut the doors and she's looking at the button, and that's exactly what she's doing that. Like,
it's like she's holding it. And for me out there, it's like, God, it's like I'm so out of control of my emotions. I've got to hold on to them like I'm just like a death grip to try and keep my emotions in check. And I always got that every single time, every performance. And then it's so bad she'll start like physically twitching.
Okay, so Jessica G just said she was amazing as Joan Jett.
Okay, Runaways was not bad, but she was also surrounded by a lot of really excellent actresses like that. I thought Dakota Fanning
attitude, anyways. They were very similar in like demeanor, I guess.
And I thought Dakota Fanning was good in that, and Scout Taylor Compton. I thought she was good in that as well.
Easy.
So,
okay, but
Scout Taylor Compton, that's one I have a crush on. Not as big as Danielle Harris, but I got a big crush on Scout Taylor Compton ever since Halloween.
Yeah, you talk about her a lot, man.
PSG Tony says
not that much.
PSG Tony, man, he's roasting us already.
PSG Tony, you can say what you like, Jessica G. They're caught up on the anti-actress tsunami that this stream has apparently become.
As I said, this movie is not just about Kristen Stewart.
No, it's not about Kristen Stewart.
But that's the problem, right? That's the problem with this film is that whenever the first trailer you see It's Kristen Stewart right before Alex
Holding a
Dunn. Yeah,
toothbrush.
right, holding a
Yes.
toothbrush. And so they build it as a Kristen Stewart movie, and I think that worked against them.
But I would actually agree with that. I would by putting her up front and thinking that a horror film could capitalize simply on her being in it, I think was a mistake. I think the focus should have been on the ensemble of everybody who was in there.
Yes.
Because when I went into this movie, I went into the movie blind. I didn't want to know a lot about it because of Kristen Stewart. I was like,
Yeah.
pardon me. And I didn't want to know a ton about it because I was like, it's a Kristen Stewart movie. So I've been hurt before, Kristen. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna watch it. So because I want to see the monsters. I want to see if they at least do the monsters cool. Because obviously there's big monsters in this. So I want to go watch it. And I was like, holy shit, TJ Miller's in this thing. Well, who the hell did and he's awesome. And he was deep too. There was a whole I would say mythology, but there was a whole backstory to that character that I wanted to know. Why is he constantly referencing Alice in Wonderland? Why does he have the tattoo of the Cheshire Cat, like the big sailor's tattoo of the Cheshire Cat on his stomach? What was with the stuffed rabbit? Okay,
Right.
Why did everyone respect the stuffed rabbit like this? I want to know these things about this character because I like this character, and everybody else liked him too.
Well, TJ Miller is that guy that you can insert TJ Miller into any film and it instantly becomes better. Like if you take a look at Deadpool.
Okay.
A lot of people look at Ryan Reynolds and like, oh, he made the movie, which is probably true. But TJ Miller's character in there wasn't a throwaway character, even though it should have been. You know what I mean?
It's true.
Yeah, but he comes in everything strong and like
Right.
you said,
That's exactly right. He knows that this could be his last movie ever.
I thought he legitimately saved the movie. And when you actually watch it, and that was the whole point I wanted to talk about Underwater, is because one, Kristen Stewart does not destroy the movie. Okay, Kristen, I have seen many bad actresses, like bad ones, who don't know how to deliver a line, who don't even sound conversational when they are speaking on camera.
Right.
I've seen bad actresses. She's not absolutely terrible. She's just boring. Is the problem.
I would agree with you there. Yeah,
she doesn't engage. Fortunately, in this movie, we have a ridiculous amount of really, really top-notch actors that we can relate to and that we can get on board with, and a lot of very cool effects. And I thought a very, very decent storyline. We dug too greedily and too deep, and we woke something up, and that's something. And this is where I kind of break with it. I'm kind of 50-50 on this one. The thing that they break, spoiler alert, the thing that they wake up is fucking Cthulhu.
God, thank God we can talk about Cthulhu now.
Yes.
So over Cthulhu.
Do you think that was like shoehorned in there though?
Okay, so the thing that got me to watch the movie finally was I happened to be skimming through horror stuff because I go through to prep each week I have to go through archives of like news and shit. And the thing that got me to watch it was I came across a deal where William Eubank confirmed that the monster we saw at the end of the film was Cthulhu. And I was like, whoa. Now you completely just U-turned this whole movie for me. You want to go Lovecraftian, now I'm going to have to fucking watch it. So sit down, rented the movie, just checked it out. And I was kind of like, okay, not bad. Script's decent. Score is good. Monsters look good. Deep sea stuff, that's neat. I've seen a lot of deep sea movies like Leviathan, Deep Star 6, and various other shit.
Mm-hmm.
This one was one of the better ones. Okay, it was up there. It was good. And Kristen Stewart, I can forgive that because shit, we got TJ Miller and Vincent Cassell and a bunch of other people that I really enjoy. So fuck it, yeah, let's do it. And then all of a sudden, the monster shows up, the big thing, and two problems. One,
let's hear him.
Why does it have the face of something out of Blade Trinity?
Yeah.
That's fair.
With the opening up lower jaw and shit. That's unnecessary because that's been done, and every time you see that effect, that blah effect,
yeah,
that's from Blade. That's Guillermo del Toro's Reapers. Where we've seen that. And two, it suffered from Godzilla syndrome. It's so goddamn dark that we can't even really see what's going on. And I was kind of like,
I think that was the idea, though, right? That was the idea.
Yeah. Well, then I'm kind of like, well, if they had never said that this was Cthulhu,
nobody would have ever known.
some big badass. Yeah, because number one, Cthulhu's got wings. This thing really didn't have wings, and the tentacles and the veil. Like that. I was like, okay, so it's not really. It's just a big badass sea monster that they happen to wake up. That's cool. I can go with that. But then when you say Lovecraftian, that this is like Cthulhu, and they kind of they hint at it in kind of the opening. That's why I think there were a lot of scenes that were cut out of this movie because they hint at it with like the newspaper clippings that like underwater effects, people going crazy, paranoid. So like it's like, oh, okay, now I get it.
Right.
Now I see what they're playing at. But yeah, it did. It felt.
But even even that feels like it was, it was an after the fact thought. Like they saw that the Lovecraftian horror was kind of making a resurgence.
Yes.
And they had this film that was underwater, and like, oh fuck, man! It seems like this was like a retelling of The Abyss, only a darker version of it.
Instead of helpful aliens.
Instead of help, right?
It's an elder god.
Right. Exactly.
Shit.
So yeah, right. So here they are thinking, well, cool. How do we capitalize? And you see that shit in Hollywood all the time, right? Mm-hmm. They'll say, hey, we got this trend that's coming up, and we also have this film that we could kind of shoehorn in there, and it'll ride that wave to make some money. This doesn't feel like it was a Lovecraftian film to begin with, all the way through. It doesn't have.
And you were mentioning shoehorning stuff in. It was like, and I went and I've actually watched the film a couple of times. The only reason I went back is because supposedly there are a bunch of little Easter eggs throughout the movie that you could pick up on and be like, oh that, like tiny little things that you could just blink and miss them. That kind of push towards a further backstory with the company and what they're doing down there.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, okay, neat. So there was some interesting little bits and pieces there, but I don't think enough to justify the eldritch thing.
Right.
Coming up out of the city of Rilia. That's what we anticipate.
Yeah, and
great underwater.
It didn't even look like a Cthulhu monster.
Okay, the little smaller ones coming out, those could have been Lovecraftian.
Yeah,
we could have called those deep ones, a version of that. I could have accepted that, but deep ones are Dagon, so that's neither here nor there. But I could have accepted those as Lovecraftian. They're like humans mutated into monster shit. Like
right.
I could agree with that. But that Cthulhu fucking thing is like, no, that was just something that was a kaiju. That's what that was. That was a fucking kaiju that they woke up.
Whoops.
Bring on Godzilla.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's kind of the funny thing about this movie is that it could have been a Godzilla movie, or it could have been, what they made it out to be, a Cthulhu movie, a Lovecraftian movie. So, it works, I guess.
There is something absolutely terrifying about being that far down and not knowing.
Yeah.
I'm like super into deep sea stuff, and I try to catch as much. When James Cameron did a bunch of the stuff, like I watched all of his stuff, and whenever you get whenever they don't do it a whole lot anymore, and that's kind of messed up. We're trying to explore space, but we've explored a very small percentage of what's below us in the ocean, and
mm-hmm.
Who knows what's down there. But I agree. This could have done something different with the monster.
Yeah, Kristen Stewart's acting potential is down there somewhere.
somewhere very deep.
20,000 leagues beneath Hollywood.
Yeah.
I need James Cameron to go dig that shit up.
Yeah.
Even he hasn't figured out how to get that far.
That's gonna be a soundbite. 20,000 leagues beneath Hollywood.
Yep.
We're gonna get a phone call. It's gonna be our first Hollywood phone call. Hey, so I heard you were talking shit. Oh, Kristen, what's up?
Hey, do you see? Even you gave her too much. It would be, hey guys, heard you were talking shit.
There was too much inflection in your voice there, but ultimately, I didn't. I don't know what William Eubank is trying to do. If they shoehorned it in, I'm biased. I'm a giant Lovecraft fan. Everybody in the chat knows that I'm a huge Lovecraft fan. By the way, we had some more people stop by. Hey, Basic Trigonometry, it's so very, very good to see you. I think I saw
Jeff
Roberts. Jeff Roberts stopped by. Is here. Thank you, Jeff Roberts, for coming by, and of course, Catnip Entertainment. I love that name for some reason. Him and Basic Trigonometry. Basic Trigonometry is one of the sexiest names in YouTube. It really is. Just
it's intimidating.
Basic Trigonometry. I've stolen that. That's a running gag on other channels. But it's so good to see you guys. But yes, I think the Lovecraft purist in me, the guy who loves, Mandy, the guy who loved The Color Out of Space, the guy, I'm just chomping at the bit, waiting for the Dunwich horror. to come out, which hopefully I think is towards the end of this year or maybe 2022. Because it's being made by the same people that made The Color Out of Space. They're planning a Lovecraftian trilogy. The Dunwich Horror is the next one coming out. I love the work of Stuart Gordon. His with Dagon and From Beyond and Reanimator. As a purist, this one kind of stung a little bit. So I'm like, it was a wasted opportunity. If they were going to go Lovecraftian, then the story could have reflected that more. I would have loved to have seen more like insanity effects or people's freaking out or people turning on each other, shit like that. That's the point. Yeah. But no, we shoehorned in the monster we slapped the name Cthulhu on it, and it has none of the effects of what Cthulhu is. And so kind of like, yeah, I was kind of like that. That was more aggravating. I enjoyed the movie, but it was kind of aggravating. Not The Mist aggravating, but pretty aggravating.
Why not The Mist? What was wrong with The Mist?
Don't even get me started, man.
God.
No, I'm turning this butter.
I wanted to eat a good. The appearance of Cthulhu did not make me want to eat a fucking bullet. At the end of it, I was like, Cthulhu, come on. It was like,
obviously you missed
Thomas
the
Kenny
idea.
Makes me want to shoot myself in the face.
Obviously, you missed the point of the movie.
Such a terrible, terrible ending.
You guys are high.
No, unfortunately.
Hey, Alien X Gaming has stopped by. Hope you're doing good. I did see your message on Discord. I apologize. Where I got right.
Now you gotta face it.
Yeah, I know. He's like, "Hey, man, how's it going?" I'm like, "Oh shit."
Hey, so I messaged you.
So yeah, I will recommend this. But like I said, not everybody is as big a Lovecraft fan as I am. I know PhD Tony is a big Lovecraft fan. But not everybody is. So if you're not a Lovecraftian purist, if you don't eat and breathe HP, then you can definitely check out this film. It is good enough.
Yeah, right.
You can forgive Kristen Stewart. So don't let Kristen Stewart's presence in this deter you from watching this movie.
Just use those bits.
Listen to this podcast is definitely deterred.
Just use those bits as a time to go take a bathroom break.
There you go.
You're not going to miss anything.
And they're not even that much. Because it's, like I said, it's pretty much the moments where she's the only one on screen, she is legitimately traveling from point A to point B, like physically. Okay, so I'm Kristen Stewart, I'm alone. I have to move from point A to point B in order to progress the plot. She was literally the plot jeep, walking from point A to point B.
So what you're saying is that she's so bad at acting that she even fucks up B-roll.
Oof.
No, I'm saying that her entire part was pretty much relegated to B-roll.
B-roll, yeah.
We only need Tristan on B-roll, but everyone else A.
Yep. Hey, we need a transition shot from underwater to out of underwater. Kristen Stewart.
But yeah, there you go.
Actually, so that
animation between slides on your
yes,
PowerPoint.
exactly.
So yeah, don't let her presence. Don't let her presence deter you from watching it. The film is good. The film is enjoyable. You can get invested into it. She's not going to completely kick you out of it. Just it's kind of like it's just one of the things. It's not perfect. She just happens to be not one of the perfect. One of the not perfect things about it. Oh, interesting. Jessica G put a link up in the chat for those interested. The poster for the new Saw movie is out. The new Saw movie, Spiral.
You give her mod admin or admin privileges, and she just takes
She's
it around.
dropping links. I know. She is our stream queen.
Yeah.
No, it's good. Keep them coming.
Keep them.
I'm actually going to open that up right now. It's not a virus, is it, Jessica G?
Yes. It is not a virus.
Uh-oh. Oh my God.
I guess this is a time for our call to action. What do you think?
Yeah.
So this is our call to you, the audience. Is Underwater a Lovecraftian film? What do you think? Shoot us your thoughts at weekinhorror@gmail.com or leave us a comment down there in the old comment section or live chat. What do you think? What do you think, live room?